So the last few days, my Twitter timeline has been nothing but The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and it's been mostly people making dumb shit and people thirsting over Pura, which is expected.
Look, those are just two guys who look like us.
Yeah, they just look like us.
Man, shut up, man. You're trying to trick me, man. Put smoke into my freaking head and shit, man. Not at all, man. Man, I don't know what to think no more, man. Okay, let's de-escalate. No one's messing with your head.
Get out of my head.
Nobody's messing with your head.
Get out of my head.
No, nobody's messing with your head, man. Nobody's messing with your head.
Winky, you're back.
Get out of here, Weaver.
Hi, Mommy.
I failed.
What? Winky,
You want to die with him?
you're back.
No choice.
Hi, Mommy. What? Winky,
Damn it! Why can't you remember? Reznov's dead, Mason. Did you hear me? He's dead! Weaver's right. We're out of time.
But yeah, it's been mostly positive shit, and it's honestly good to see. This is a rare moment in time where Nintendo actually did something right for once. It's genuinely shocking, to be completely honest. Now, I haven't personally played the game myself, money's tight so I can't get it, but I have watched my friend play it, and I may have dabbled into some illegal activity here and there, and I can say that the game is good. I'd have to play it in full though to say anything else. Anyway, during one of those days where I was bored out of my mind just endlessly scrolling, I stumbled upon this tweet. This has to be one of the worst, most dogshit takes I've ever heard. Look, it's okay to have your own personal preference when it comes to visuals. Some people prefer the realistic visuals of The Last of Us, and some people like the visual style of Kirby. The visuals aren't the problem critics have with games. It's how the visuals are executed. If a game has super realistic visuals, has facial expressions or design features that don't fit with the rest of the style, and just overall looks out of place and runs like shit in-game, yeah, critics are gonna complain. That is bad visual design. But Tears of the Kingdom has the complete opposite art style as something like The Last of Us. It's very colorful and animated, things are exaggerated, it's trying to look like a comic book, a cartoon, not Brokeback Mountain. So this screenshot you showed as an example was just a stupid decision that does not make any sense. There is literally nothing wrong here. It looks really good visually. If you think it looks ugly, that's perfectly fine, but visually, there is nothing wrong about the visuals itself. After this, David posts an AI-generated image that, quote, fixes it, and dear God, this sucks. First of all, it doesn't look like Zelda. It doesn't even look like Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword. Zelda having a realistic style isn't a bad thing, but this AI image just doesn't fit Zelda. It especially doesn't fit with the style of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Also, AI art is made up of stolen art. It's used to put people out of a job, to replace artists. Keep that in mind because later that is going to be super fucked up. Anyways, I decided to look into this guy a bit, more because his name sounded oddly familiar. I felt like this guy had said some stupid shit before this, and after looking into it a bit, yeah, I was completely right. I remember this guy. Back when Metroid Dread had come out, David decided to play it and proceeded to say some real stupid shit. He claimed the game was full of bad game design. Yeah, it wasn't, he just sucks. For example, he claims that the fucking Metroidvania game, the game that is meant to have shit to explore, has too many rooms to explore. The game where you explore has too many rooms to explore. What? How stupid are you? How are you going to complain about more content? How are you going to complain about a fleshed out level with great game design? How are you going to say this is bad? I just don't get it. He also claims that the game is flawed because he's stupid and doesn't know how to pick up context clues. He enters a room with no doors, no secrets, nothing, and sees that the only way to get out is to go up. The problem is that there is no door, just a room. Now see, here's a fun fact about Metroid. The main character Samus has a gun, a whole ass gun, a gun that can destroy shit. And there are some enemies that are walking around the bridge above you. Common sense would imply that, maybe you should shoot the bridge bridge and jump up there. Most people with more than 2 brain cells would assume that. My 6-year-old cousin would assume that. He's a smart kid. So tell me, Jaffe, is this really bad game design, or are you just a man-child who can't accept the fact that he might not be as smart as he thinks he is? I'm usually not this hostile towards people, but the level of arrogance this man has is insane. Just to show that David doesn't really think before he speaks, here's this atrocious tweet. No context as to why he's asking, no info given, nothing. Just this insane ass tweet. Now, I know why he asked the question, and I get why he asked it, and I'd even say that's an interesting discussion. David is Jewish, he has a trans son and a gay sibling. He seems like a pretty tolerant guy overall, and if I can be for real right now, I will admit, many of the insults I've thrown around in this video have been done to add some extreme comedy to the video. I don't actually hold anything against the guy. So I know he didn't intend anything harmful in asking this, but the timing and the way he phrased it is just horrible, man. It also doesn't help that David absolutely sucks at taking and responding to any negative criticism, because yeah, some of his responses to criticism he got for his Metroid Dread takes is not good. Here's what baffles me the most about his takes though. This man, David Jaffe, is the lead designer of God of War and is the creative director of God of War 2. Both of these are incredibly awesome and well-designed games. Yet this dude who thinks Metroid Dread is bad because he himself couldn't figure out he should have shot his gun at the roof? How the hell did this guy make God of War? It absolutely baffles me. Maybe I'm just a silly goose, but God of War's game design is brilliant, and I just can't picture this dude being the one who designed it. Although, after hearing these atrocious takes and seeing the reviews of his last project he worked on, I'm so very glad that God of War 3 and onward doesn't involve him. After looking into his last project, Drawn to Death, I can see why it didn't receive the greatest reviews. The game is pretty unbalanced and the art direction is very inconsistent. Some of it works and some of it doesn't, which means the ugly stuff that doesn't work hides away all the yummy good shit. The maps also aren't very great either. I wonder if David had assistance from anyone when it comes to doing his job, or if later on he just really fell off that much. His response to all the criticism he's gotten for his stupid tweets is also pretty bad. For starters, he chooses to call them Nintendo fanboys.
This is all about pissing off Nintendo fanboys, so...
Well, I'm not a Nintendo fanboy, and I think his take is fucking stupid. He also calls them unhinged, which is just immature and petty. Like, yeah, Nintendo fans suck a lot, but come on, man, these people were mainly just shitting on you, joking around. Especially since this is supposed to be a serious, uncomedic response. He then decides to dick ride AI art and say it's good, and Jesus Christ, it's just bad, man. He fucking admits that he supports putting people out of a job.
Final thing, AI art, let's be clear. That's the future. EA has come out and talked about it recently. It's going to be a big part. Blizzard has come out and talked about it. I literally saw a video the other night where it was how to integrate ChatGPT prompts into Midjourney, which is the AI program. So you can be all flowery and crazy with ChatGPT, and it whittles it down to like a sentence or two.
I'm absolutely opposed to theft. I would hope, and I'm sure some companies are already doing this, that they are going to have the AI they use draw from art that they own the rights to, or that they have licensed the rights to, which I think would be dangerous because then what happens when the license expires, but different point. And I think that's how it's going to be going forward. That's how it should be going forward. No one deserves to have their work taken and actually monetized. That's bullshit. But that's growing pains. This is the same Ted Lasso, but then someone said do it cartoon.
So the point is, my take on AI is no one deserves to be ripped off. But if you're living in a world, and again, this is just my opinion, if you're living in a world, especially now that you've got all these game companies coming out in support of it, and it is so fucking fast that, I mean, back in the day, man, I would have spent, like, okay, when I was at Sony, I used to work with a wonderful artist. It's just the way it is. So, I'm sorry if you're an artist and that frightens you. It should frighten you.
His response, which is supposed to not only be an explanation but an apology, is somehow worse than his ridiculous takes that got him in this situation. It's absolutely absurd. I seriously don't understand how someone can just do that. I want to call him stupid, but I don't think that's the right word. It would be rude to compare this guy to stupid people. Stupid people are pretty nice. This guy isn't. I honestly don't know what else to say. I have no words. In conclusion, David Jaffe is an incredibly stuck-up, stubborn, and just flat-out wrong individual. He lacks common sense and thinks way too highly of himself. Gaming and pop culture journalists suck. They've always sucked. But I'd say David is on the same level as Gotaku at this point when it comes to how horrendous they are at doing their job. That's all I have to say. What do you guys think about all this David Jaffe shit? What do you think about this video? Please tell me in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, like the video if you liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.